we could start off with
All right, ladies and
the
gents,
assassination attempt,
we
which
are live.
Hello,
was an incredible thing.
motherfuckers.
And I have to say that
All right,
your
let's see what this
actions
is about.
after that
All
assassination
right, let's get
attempt were
into it.
inspiring. Um,
Enjoy some
you
zombies
instead of
and
shying away
Trump
from
and
things,
Musk
instead of
and
ducking
our
down,
commentary on it.
you were pumping your
Okay?
fist in the air and saying fight, fight, fight. And I think
Listen.
that's, I mean, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is
Kindo?
America.
You're gonna
That
do
is strength
a
under
different
fire.
map.
And so that's
You want to do this?
part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest.
Pleasant.
I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had.
Not
I didn't
pleasant.
know I had
That's-
that much blood. The doctors
Couldn't
later told me
understand.
that the ear
That's-
is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle.
Bro.
And, it was a hard hit. It was very, I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this or like a lot less than this where you feel it's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly. And we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter. And so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was.
What the
Bro, if his head was
But
turned
don't
slightly,
believe in
we
God.
would have been in
I
a
think,
civil war right
We
now.
got to all start
What the
thinking about
does,
that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle, and
was a miracle.
because I put down
100%
chart
was
on
a miracle.
immigration that showed that the numbers.
He even
were
said it was
great.
an act of
I
God.
love that chart even
I mean,
more
maybe
now.
it's a sign. Maybe that's a sign.
It's an immigration sign.
You highlighted a serious issue.
Bro,
I am the chosen one.
That shit. I am the chosen one.
Seen that meme?
Somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it.
Your head.
I am the
Well, the
chosen one.
amazing
And he
thing
looks
is
up
that,
at the sky.
sign. I said, bring down that sign on
What a legend.
immigration. And it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good. And after that, it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing.
Bishke or
But it just
John,
had
get a goblin.
that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation.
Bro,
Such a
Jesus
sad
loves this
situation.
man.
As
For
you know,
real.
we lost somebody
Bro.
that was great, Corey,
Yeah.
who a
Telling
firefighter,
you,
a
slightly
great gentleman,
turned, he would have been
a great
fucking toast.
trumper. He was.
And we would have been in a civil war.
Just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, she said, this is really nice, but
I
I'd
heard
rather
that
have
guy
my
was a good
husband
guy.
back, which
The
is
one that
a
caught the
nice
stray
thing for
bullet.
somebody to say, to be honest. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen who are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did.
Told
The
you he would
doctors
take care
in
of
the
them,
Butler
fool.
area,
Yeah.
I tell you, they
Of
were
course you did.
incredible. They saved the two, and
He's such a
they were
fucking G.
really hit tough, both of them equally. And we thought my first question was because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, "How many people were killed?" Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous, thousands and thousands of people, and there was no land. I mean, it was all people. So I said, how many people have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots being fired. And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the secret
Shit's crazy, bro.
sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot. obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium. And he saw the smoke and the flame.
The old boxes right here.
Immediately recognized it, and immediately took a shot. And it was one perfect shot from very far away. And if he didn't do that, Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed. So I have to take my hat off.
I saw the video. I think that's the guy he's talking about.
You know,
the one in the video.
23 years.
Who right before the shots were fired, he kind of looked up a little bit. And he was like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
And it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting.
You could tell he saw something right away.
He saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun. Very far away. Obviously has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have in that particular work. But he took aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds.
Oh, of course,
range, one bullet. If that didn't happen, because the shooter had a lot of bullets, he had a lot of cartridges with him. So.
Well, I mean, that's clearly.
If only his security detail was
very
a little less
confident
pussy.
in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination.
You can't tell me that shit wasn't planned, though.
But I mean, there does seem to be, some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen.
Well, you know, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and
boxes
all
here.
over it, and she's screaming. That guy's got a gun. You know, you saw it probably. There's a guy up there.
No one was listening to these fucking people.
I'm just,
bro. That whole Secret Service team,
for my part, and I think probably
should be fired.
Many members of the public are wondering.
The whole detail should be fired.
You know, basically, people wondering by pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Okay, out of here.
And they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That just
it was ignored.
They're going to learn from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up, and he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot, but he was like pulling himself up. And because of that, he couldn't get to his gun, and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly, but he fell down, and he did.
That's a civilian from the crowd.
There's a guy up there with a gun.
How pathetic, man! That's so pathetic.
The shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced the shooter to go maybe quicker. He was supposed to be a very good shot.
That's all pathetic.
My
the Secret
sons,
Services, bro.
Don and Eric, they
Bro, it was
believe what happened.
the most
they said from 130
side thing I've ever seen.
A bad shot would
They
hit
fucking
that target
let it
almost
happen.
every time. They said it's like in golf, sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, it's not a tough shot.
It's not a long shot. The Secret
There's a
Service
video of this
person
woman
had the
standing
long
behind
shot,
Trump, ducking before the shots were even fired.
So,
And she was looking up in the direction of the shooter too, right before.
Look,
because fucking bro, Secret
it's
Service,
hard.
they
I
wanted
have
him
to say
dead.
this about the Secret
She was
Service. When
ducking.
I
She
went
knew the
down,
shot was coming.
And, I went down based on, I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums and soccer matches, some kind of event, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of people get killed with those stampedes. We had more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and
Nobody moved.
You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full.
Because they love Trump.
And
That's
you
why
look
nobody
at
left.
it as it was
Like,
taking
fuck
place.
that.
And
We're not leaving.
normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw
Part of
the
it may have been
hurt.
confusion.
Those are real Americans, my friend.
Yeah.
And
Part of
said
it
that
may
I
have
went
been
down,
confusion, but at the same
and
time,
it's
they
almost like
fucking
they wanted to
stayed.
be with
Yeah.
me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands
I
of
would
people.
stay.
As far
Okay,
as the
yeah.
eye could see, you had people in Butler, as far as the eye could see, and a lot of press too. It was, many cameras on.
They also
watching
probably
it.
just trusted that
What
something would be done
makes
about
so
it,
different, 'cause
whatever it
normally
was.
Things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these
But
cameras.
of course,
doing it.
these people's lives
So,
don't fucking matter
sort of
to the ones
amazing.
who pulled
But
this shit.
one of the interesting things was that
That's why they let
you
3
didn't
of
have
them
anybody flee. You didn't have anybody
get shot.
stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people because it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down. But the Secret Service guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate, would jump. They moved so fast.
Yeah, but those chicks were fucking useless.
Tremendous courage.
Bro, she was hiding. There's a picture of her hiding as soon as the shots came down.
Obviously, everybody
She needs to be fired.
And right afterwards, bro, you see his entire security team at that point was, just a bunch of burly, big-ass dudes.
Women are useless when it comes to security.
I just don't understand why you would allow that to happen. You're hiring someone to protect
So the goal is
like a presidential candidate. You need someone who's on top of their
That would have
fucking
been
game.
the
Oh,
You
bro.
can ask for a better
No.
location. It's like
Diversity, equity,
You know what people
inclusion,
think?
bro.
What are we doing here?
Local
It's not a
police-
woman's job to
Who, by
fucking
the way,
die for
he really
the
he did what he was supposed to do. He
president-elect.
couldn't hold on any longer. And then when he got his head just peeking above, this
We
guy
just
standing
need to
there with
fill
a
up the
gun in his hand.
demographics. That's
And-
not
Well,
racist.
historically, it's always the men whose job is to do
No,
that
He
it's
shit.
was
like
making the
this
calls,
new
But what happened is
equality
the firing took
shit.
place
It's like,
very
bro,
soon. So
don't pick
what they
based
think is
upon
that
a
this
certain
guy ran to
demographic.
his site,
You need this many
he had all
transgenders and
planned
all
out
that
with
shit.
gun.
Pick the
he
people
ran
fit
to
for
the
the
site
fucking
and he
job. The
started
best of the
shooting
best.
fast, and maybe that's why.
That's why they're integrating these
he,
females that can't fucking
well, he
fight for
sort of
shit.
missed.
They're fucking cowards when it comes to it.
but
he
as you
got
said,
me,
you
but it
would have
could have
hit.
been.
Because they're not built to fucking fight. They're
Could
built
have
to
been a
be in
much
the kitchen.
bigger problem.
But he totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So, there was a. It was.
That's why she was ducking
It was
down.
a miracle. If I hadn't turned my
That's not her
head,
place to be.
I would not be talking to you right now. As much as I like you,
Exactly.
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not be.
Yeah, right. No, the odds of that were...
Yeah,
But
that's right. We'd
they
be talking
slowed
some
it and-
different place. But
They slowed the footage down,
It was a,
and
it was very
You
terrible.
could see the
you could
bullet.
see that like
The
it
Butler
barely
Hospital, They
fucking.
did such a great job.
Right
If he didn't turn
The
his head,
doctors were so good. Everybody was so
He
good.
would have got
There was-
smoked.
there
That's
was
it.
a
His
mistake.
brain would be everywhere.
If somebody
Insane.
knew, because people
It
were
would have been
hearing,
like a
you know,
like
there was
a
bad
historical
feeling that there was somebody
tragedy,
was
like a
around.
major
You know
one.
that story
Yeah.
now. It's been
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if somebody
Abe
could
Lincoln
because
or
they
fucking
oftentimes
JFK.
said, like there'd be a light
Don't know, use your
or
government.
something. Because I've done, I think over 300. I think I did a lot more than that, but we did a lot. And oftentimes they'll say, "Sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a storm overhead or
watching
lightning or something, right?" And
Yeah.
that happens often. And this would have been a perfect time for that to have happened, but it didn't. It didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
Well, it was your. I think your actions in the heat of fire, and like what I find admirable there was
nice.
that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual, or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people
I'll
admire
take the
your
glue,
courage
come
and
on.
pride there. And so
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate it. I don't think.
Bro,
I
how
didn't
gangster
ever
you gotta
want
be,
to
bro.
get up and
After
stand
just
up.
almost
I want to let
fucking
people
dying.
know, I felt I was.
You're not even thinking of
when
yourself.
they
Like your
were,
first concern
on
is
top
the
of me,
purpose that
covering
you're there
me,
for.
actually,
Yep.
very much covering
It's
me
fucking
and very
crazy.
bravely.
It's called being a man.
That's
I
some
wanted-
That's
like
what
that's
Trump
some real
is, a
man
fucking
shit,
man
bro.
with balls.
Fucking Joe Biden.
They wanted, they have everything there. They wanted stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher, and I knew I was
Fucking
hit in
forgets
here,
what he's
but I knew I
talking
wasn't
about
hit
while he's
anywhere else.
talking.
They felt I was hit someplace else.
Yeah.
'Cause
Joe Biden would have crapped his
a lot of
pants.
blood.
Reload.
And they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they
Reloaded?
were saying, "Sir,
yeah, I'm Gucci.
you were hit in more than the ear." I said, "Nope, I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up." And so I got
You're like,
up,
come on.
and the
Why'd
crowd
you miss
didn't
for?
know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think. And I wanted to let them know I was okay. It was very important for me to let them know that. And they went wild.
Come on.
You've seen the after. They didn't go wild when I got
Come
up
on.
because they didn't know.
Yeah, bro. Imagine
was I
seeing
alive.
not only that he
You really couldn't tell
didn't
when I
die,
stood up
but he's still
before the hand,
fucking.
before the the fist
He's
in
not
the air.
fucking scared.
Yeah.
They didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did. And when I put the fist up, they were just relieved and happy and thrilled, and the place went crazy. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was
It's like such a mind fuck,
terrible
bro.
thing, but it was
incredibly
nice.
moving. Yeah.
It's when you find out what somebody's really fucking made of.
And I mean, speaking of the sort of slide that got you to turn that saved your life, really, was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this, maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was
that slide saved your life.
No, the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but it was, I had to be at that exact angle.
I mean, that's a great one. saved by illegal immigration.
You know, the incredible thing though, when you talk about the odds, you had to be exactly at that angle. But the incredible thing is that
Elon is such a
I
nerd,
used it
bro.
less
The way he
than
laughs.
20% of the time.
He really is.
The moment it's always on my left.
But bro,
never my
he
right,
really
and
is
it's
right
always
now.
At the end of the speech. So
Bro, to be at just the right
angle
on the
angle.
right,
in this nation.
not the left. It's at the
To
beginning,
be
not
just
the end.
at the right fucking
And even the
angle
people
at
that
the
put it up,
exact
they
right
weren't
time,
prepared.
bro. Like,
And
do you
they did a great job.
understand?
They got it up
Yeah.
immediately.
You understand what the odds of that are?
But I looked to
It's
the right.
nothing short of a
and
fucking
the bullet-
miracle.
and the
Plain and
bullet
simple.
came whizzing by, hitting my ear. So it was amazing. But when you think of the odds of that, and you know that normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I wouldn't have the thing, and then it would have been a very different story. It's very much, I say, an act of God. It's a miracle that it happened, and I'm honored by it. I'm honored by it.
Well, what were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were rudely interrupted?
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler,
bro.
and we're going to go back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed,
honestly,
and the other two, the families.
Their biggest mistake here was fucking up, trying to kill
the
Trump.
families are great.
They
But
just
we're
made
going
the
back to
biggest
Butler,
mistake of their lives.
and I think I'll
Because
probably
now you
start
just
by
convinced
saying,
everyone
as I
and
was
Trump
saying,
himself
prior to
that
being
he's doing
so
exactly what
horribly
he's meant to be
interrupted,
doing.
Literally.
They're not going to stop for shit now. I'll tell you that.
But no, but the
I'll tell
charge.
you that.
You saw that meme with
Elon,
Hillary
the charge
Clinton. What do you mean you missed?
In my last week, we
Yeah,
had the
bro.
best
Yeah, she was not funny.
illegal.
What?
You know who got in a lot of
Last
trouble
week
for
we had
making
the
a joke
best,
about them missing Trump? Like, he was
illegal
upset.
immigration.
Like, oh,
numbers
next
being
time don't miss
stopping.
Trump. He was like
It was
singing.
at the lowest. You've seen
It
the
was,
chart.
I remember, you know, Jack Black?
But that was the lowest.
I remember
point
his band,
ever
Tenacious
recorded.
D.
It was a really. I
One
mean,
of
I
the
was very
members out
proud
loud
of
on
those
the mic
numbers. And then you
said,
see what
next time
happened
don't
with
miss
these
Trump,
people,
or whatever.
Kamala and Joe.
And they had to cancel their entire fucking show
They
because
just let it go. I had
they were under so
remain
much
in
fire for that
Mexico
shit.
policies.
That's crazy.
I had
Yeah,
all
so
these
they
different
just,
policies that was so good.
that whole go woke, go broke type thing.
Guys like Tom Holman and
That's what happened.
Brandon Judd from Border Patrol.
Yo, I'm gonna use the
these are all
teleporter.
people that they've been on
Good.
television. They said it's the best
Coming?
numbers we've
No, I'm
ever
good.
had. We had so many different jacks.
Oh no, it's
Catch
dogs.
and release in
Mhm.
Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release in the United States. We had it in Mexico. We had so many things. We had things where if many people come in there, they have contagious diseases. We had everything passed. If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we were setting literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes.
Sure.
And in this case,
Literally, bro, isn't that common sense?
I can tell you that, but.
Yeah, right now
they
we're
were
about to get hit
fantastic
with another.
numbers, but I'm going to
fucking
sleep with
crazy
that
shit.
chart always. I'll be sleeping with that chart.
Coming
that chart
soon.
was,
Corona 2.
was very important. Very important for a lot of reasons.
Well, I mean, would it be accurate to say that you're supportive
Good.
Coming
of
soon to a
legal
state near
immigration,
you.
but that
Yo, bro.
but we also need
we
to
can stay
shut
out
down
one more now.
illegal immigration and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because you know, and that's not the same as saying
You know
that
what, fuck
everyone
it,
who's
let's
an illegal
go.
immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately represent your position?
I say it very simply.
That's common
they have
sense.
to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Common fucking sense,
Kamala
bro.
was the
I don't know how you
now
can
she's
disagree
denying
with
it.
that.
Everything that I
You've got to
said,
be absolutely
she's
mentally
saying she was
challenged.
strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the
She
way,
was
they
trying to
had
copy
just
him.
the opposite. You know, they had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have
Bro,
a
that's
policy. They had a
fucking
policy
terrible,
that
man.
were really going to go after you, and we're really
People are trying to
harassing
fucking
people
just work.
horribly. And then all of
Bro,
a
these
sudden,
Democrats say one thing and they
comes out
do the
with what I
complete
said.
fucking opposite,
Insane.
bro.
And
They're
I
the
think it's
biggest
also hitting them
criminals in
very
the world.
hard.
And
These
Judd.
people are fake. Now
Yeah,
they're
we're gonna
also
do
saying
this
they
and
did a
that,
good
and they
job
never
on the
do
border. We
shit.
had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you know, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jail,
20
from
million,
prisons,
bro, with an M.
from mental institutions,
You know
or
how many people
a
that
bigger
is?
version
And
of
most
that
of
is
them are
insane
men fighting
asylums.
age.
And
Yeah.
many
You
are
know we're
terrorists.
fucked
And I'll
in
tell
your
you what,
ass
they're
twice on
coming not
Sunday.
just from South America.
And
They're
on top
coming
of
from
that, they want
Africa,
to take
they're
guns
coming
away from people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these
stupidly
people
and
are getting
horribly
guns right on
bombing
the fucking
Israel
street
October
corner
7th.
somewhere.
They're coming
bro.
from all over the world. And you know, you look at, it's so sad, October 7th, because it should have never happened.
Yeah.
It's as
so
if the
sad
people
when you
who
look at
cared
Ukraine.
enough to go
It should
through
have
due
never
process are the ones
We
they're
have a
supposed to
defective
fear.
government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should
Like,
be
give
running
me a
it.
fucking
But where
break.
you see it the best is the border,
Use your
because
heads.
you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years, and by the way,
Want to
they have
work?
another 5 months
I mean, I can't
that
upgrade,
they
so.
can do something, but they
Yeah,
won't do
fuck it.
anything. It's all
You guys
talk.
heard about the
She's
commissioner of the
incompetent and
EU
he's
in the letter he
incompetent.
sent to
And frankly,
Elon,
I
right?
think
About
that
this
she's
interview?
more incompetent than he is, and that's saying
No.
something. 'cause
They
he's not too
basically
good.
told Elon, they warned him,
Yeah. No,
if you guys talk about some
it-
shit
it
that's
is
like misinformation or
essential to
disinformation
have a
or whatever the
secure border.
fuck,
I mean,
then
you're
we're
really
gonna
not
file a
country
lawsuit
unless
against
you
you.
have a secure
They're gonna
border.
take further actions, like
and
to
secure
try to punish
elections.
Elon.
You know,
Punish my cock.
absolutely secure
Fuck
elections.
you,
And
EU.
so it's
And
just
EU,
as
this
essential
dick
that
down
as
their
asshole
throat.
commissioner that
we
felt
can't function as a
the
country.
fucking
Our
audacity
services,
to
our
even
central
mutter some
services
bullshit
are
like
being
that.
They can
overwhelmed.
suck
Go
my
fuck
penis.
yourself.
They
Thierry
can suck,
Breton,
and I
all
think
air.
that as
They
we
can
were
suck
talking
my cock
about
on a
earlier, I think
Tuesday.
having
Thierry
a
Balsac.
legal immigration process that is
This is America,
smooth and
bitch.
efficient and done well. And I,
It's
speaking
Britney,
as
bitch.
someone who is a legal immigrant, and I think that I mean, like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? Who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are gonna, be great contributors to our society and to our economy, and and who do you want on the team? And it's
And
it's
tell
not
people
to say
what the fuck to talk about.
like
Shut
in
the
my
fuck
opinion,
up.
actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion. But some are not, and you just have this sort of adverse selection process.
Some
where,
are not. This is a fact of life. Some are not.
If somebody's like
No, bro, you can't say that, bro.
You fucking
has a career
idiots.
in
Obviously,
theft or
some are
robbery,
not.
I don't
say
understand
that.
what's
You're gonna hurt
taking
my
them so long to
feelings.
get here.
Shit's crazy.
Because we're such a target-rich environment. I mean, why aren't more people who have a career?
And some U.S. citizens are not good too.
Bad things
I mean,
coming here
what
sooner,
the
because
fuck?
it's,
Use your brains.
I mean, it's a piece of cake to go rob, houses in
They don't have brains,
L.A.
bro.
or New York, compared to other parts of the world. And
Whatever brain cells y'all fucking have left,
in a lot of places in America, if you
use
try
it
to stop
to the fullest
those
capacity.
They're
robberies,
using it to
you'll
look at
be
the
arrested.
Haktua girl.
The Hawk.
You saw what that girl
What's
said?
happening with crime?
Can't
and our
believe it,
police
bro.
are so
Me
good,
too,
but they're
boy.
not allowed to do their job. But I have to tell you, Elon, I
They're
hate
not.
to say it because it's such a
Exactly.
downer to say it. I hate to say it. I hate
Exactly.
it. But you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think.
Who hit
They're
it?
I
allowing,
think you're
again,
right.
they're
Yeah.
allowing people
You
from
hit
their
it?
jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an
Yeah, they're
example,
coming.
Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're
You
taking,
hear this?
frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out
That's
their
because they're
prisons.
sending them
They're
here.
taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and
Yeah,
they're delivering
they're
them into
dropping
the
them
That's
here.
what Cat.
You watch right, I watch
yeah, well,
left.
they
Chill here
did
for
on a
me.
much
Bro,
smaller
our
scale.
borders are opened.
Much smaller scale. But this is a massive scale.
No, they
This is
couldn't
Our
be
happening
more.
borders
worldwide.
are
But
open.
here's
We're
what's
letting in
happening.
anyone.
Crime all over the
Because
world
there's people
is
sneaking
down.
into the fucking
And wait
country
till you
right in
see the
front of
numbers that
security
we
and they're
have.
not doing shit
You know,
about it.
this is
There's
migrant
videos
crime.
of
This
that
is
shit.
crime that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I saw it today in New York where somebody was knifed.
Heck, it
with
must
a,
They're like, oh, we're gonna
raped
come
the
in.
girlfriend of a man
And they
that
just
stood there watching. And
legally they're not allowed to do shit about it.
And started
Sure.
pulling out the knives, and bad things
So basically,
happened
these
today.
people are
But
just
this is
hearing, oh,
happening
guys,
every
the
day.
border's open,
These are
come right
rough
in.
people.
Yeah.
These are people that are in jail for
Yeah.
murder and all
Bro, we're
sorts
being
of things.
invaded.
Yeah.
And they're
No,
releasing
nobody's
them into
paying
our
That's it,
country,
straight
and they're
up.
telling them, if you come back,
Straight
we're going to kill
up.
you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they
These
don't want to
people
come
are gonna
back.
fuck the
But these
nation
are
all
rough
up.
people.
Yeah.
These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people, and it's horrible what they're doing. And she's in charge of it.
Yeah, bro,
because,
there's some
now
sick
she's
people
trying
in
to
other
say she
fucking
had nothing
countries.
to do with it, and she's
Oh,
such
monkeys.
a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was
Watch
on
out,
the
don't get
headlines
down,
of
bro.
every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location which had nothing to do with where the problem is.
Oh, fuck.
You know, she went in and out,
Right.
I guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
had nothing to do with the problem
Yeah.
is. But she was the
Well,
border czar, and people
Yeah, yeah.
can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge.
This whole
She could have shut the
disinformation
border down
nonsense.
without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known
Yeah.
what happened.
Just
She
an
shut the border
excuse to
down. He
suppress
didn't even know
freedom
the
of
difference.
speech.
But the fact is that she was
It's
border
bullshit.
czar. But if you don't have to call
Yeah.
her that, the fact is you could just call her. She was in charge of the border, and the
Can't
border
even
was the
have your own
worst
fucking
ever.
opinion today.
It's simply not working.
No, it's horrible.
Whether it's a question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people
Oh,
screaming
fuck that
over
guy.
like
That
it looks
guy's
like the
retarded.
World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you see things, you're like, is it real? I
Why
saw
the
a
fuck-
border at
My
Eagle
bad.
Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas, and I was like,
I
okay,
activated
it's
the
real.
trap by
I'm
accident.
like seeing this in real time. I actually posted the video like just live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm
Is this shit real?
Stream across the border, and and I have to say, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly.
These are
people can look at
Wow.
my video and say,
Yeah.
hey, does it
Wow.
look friendly? I don't
He
look
saw it with his own
friendly,
eyes.
so-
These are people that
Um,
Elon would not be the same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across. And I know rough people. And these are
Yeah.
people that we don't want in our country.
Cause you ever been to a
caravans
third world
are coming
country and
in,
just
and they're
walk
putting-
through the streets?
And
Yeah.
who's doing this?
That
The heads of
shit,
the
bro,
countries. And
is nerve
you would
wracking.
be doing
Yeah.
it, and so would I.
Yeah,
and
'cause
everyone
you'll
would
get
do it.
fucking
It's
butt
fucking
fucked.
nerve wracking
The fact
because
is,
they don't give a
it's
fuck
brilliant
over
for
there.
Yeah,
them.
they'll
And
put
neither
up
do the
with
cops,
They're,
by the way.
bad
Like,
people.
you
really
realize
bad
quickly
The
people.
cops
how
are the
little
ones
they
who
value
flap your
human
cheeks.
life.
The reason the numbers are
So they got
much
nothing
bigger
to
than
fear.
you
They'll
would think
fucking
is
tip
they're
off the
also taking
cops.
their
They'll throw them a
non-productive
few
people.
dollars
Now,
and they'll
these
forget all
aren't people
about
that
your
will
ass.
kill you.
Matter of fact,
We
they'll
have
probably
enough
help
of them.
bury you.
But these are people that are non-productive.
Shit is
They are
insane,
just
bro.
not productive. I mean,
You
for
gotta be
whatever
scared of the
reason,
cops
they're not
over there,
workers,
too, not
or
just
they don't want to work,
criminals.
or whatever. And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases, and they're also getting rid
Here in
of
America,
their
we don't
murderers and
realize
their
it's
drug
like,
dealers
yeah,
and
crime's
the
pretty
people
bad
that are
here, but
really
it's
brutal people. And
in these
they're coming
fucking
into our
countries,
country
bro.
at
Even
levels
the
that
cops
have
will
never
help
been
you.
seen before. And I saw an ad just
Just
before I
takes
got
a
on
few
the air.
dollars, a little bit of this.
Walking over here, and I saw an ad by
No, I think we have to
Kamala
use teleporter.
saying
You're a
how she is
cockroach. That's all
going
it is.
to provide border security. Where has she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years,
Yeah, no,
we have 20 million people
I
poured
think
in.
is
It's a terrible.
Yeah, I think this, frankly,
I know.
I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't have
No one is saying you can't come in. You just gotta come in the
if
right way.
they get in,
Can't
you will
force
have
it.
50,
That's all it is.
60
Bro, we're done
million
for. 20
people
million
from
people
all
just
over
came
the
in, bro.
world.
Fuck out of
Not
here.
Oh yeah, this
South
is not
America,
something
you guys
you're
are
gonna
missing
reverse.
the point. We're already
America, we
fucked.
think of
We're
Honduras,
not gonna
El
reverse this
Salvador,
one.
Guatemala,
Yeah.
Shoe
and
fix. There's
Mexico.
nothing
You
to
know,
fix. We're
the
fucked.
4. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming
That's
in
it.
from
Yeah,
everywhere. And I had to stay in
Yeah,
Mexico.
this is a super
Yeah,
important
fucking
point.
everywhere.
Like people, it's like basically when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico.
No,
to be clear.
Mexico less.
It's just
less
the border. It's just the border with Mexico, but the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth, and America is
Yeah.
only about 4 or 5.
All the people that want to see the
Bro, we
downfall of
gotta teleport
America.
this round,
50%
proof.
of the rest of
Hmm?
Earth.
We gotta
overwhelm
teleport.
everything in
We're
the-
Yeah.
already
So-
overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed. You had to see the news
Yeah.
tonight about New York. New York, and I love that place. And
Cause
what they're
he's
doing
keeping
to
it
is
Oh,
horrible,
I want to hear
they're
what
doing
she
to it.
says.
And all the courts do is they
Yeah.
try and focus on
dogs.
Trump. Okay, then let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong. I complain about a rigged election. Elon, what's happened is unbelievable. You have from Africa, from the Congo, they're coming from the Congo, and 22 people came in from the Congo recently, and they're murderers, and they drop them. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is very expensive, to maintain the jails. So they don't do too much.
Bro, mad girls in America getting
But
raped
they take
and
them out of
raw.
jails,
Bro,
prisons.
you
They
hear
take
about the
them out
rapes
and they
going
bring
on?
them to the
Yeah.
United
Yeah.
States. They deposit them in the United States and say, "Don't ever come back, or you're going to be executed." And they don't want to come back.
Cause
But
imagine
they
a
won't come back.
full-fledged civil
But-
war
but they're
between
coming
illegal
from
immigrants,
Africa, they're
dangerous
coming from
illegal immigrants
Asia,
who
they're
are in
coming
the
from the
country
Middle East,
for the
they're coming
purpose
from
of
South
destroying
America.
it.
They're
No
coming-
shit, that's
And
why they're
Americans
here.
in the
And there are a
streets.
lot of
Mish,
really
that's
bad
why
ones.
they're here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they're here.
It's
They're
just
soldiers.
thing, and it's just
They're
it's just
soldiers.
not
Y'all better be
possible,
fucking
to absorb,
ready for
everyone
anything,
from Earth
honestly. This shit is
People
getting
don't
scary.
understand. Most of them are
It's
soldiers
just
that
not
are
possible.
coming.
Shit's getting
Well, Elon,
crazy
we're gonna
now.
have just to
Because
just to
Trump
finish
back at
this
20
up,
million.
we're gonna have
Most of
the
them are
largest
men.
deportation
And that's what they
in
know.
history
That's just what
of
they
the
know.
country, and we have
Most
no
of them
choice.
are men
Otherwise, we're
fighting
gonna have a country.
age that
What
fucking are
they've
from
done
countries
to our
that don't
country.
like us.
Think of it.
Yeah.
With
You know,
in
they're
Venezuela
Bro,
and
it's
in some of
curtains.
these other countries, crime is down 50,
Yo, let's
60,
teleport.
70, 80%. And you would be the same. You would have.
Teleport.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it does
Venezuela
hurt
has
me.
not gotten rid of all of them.
Fuck
They've
that.
gotten rid
I
of
don't want
about
this gone.
70% of their really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. The same with other countries. Some are at 30%, some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100% of it?
Yeah.
And they're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden.
You want to go?
He failed in the debate miserably. And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said
Just
that was
crazy.
the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent.
Wow.
She's as bad as Biden in a different...
Yeah.
Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole
She really
scam
is, bro.
started.
She's retarded.
And say what you want.
Kamala
This was a
Lala.
coup.
She was
This
nowhere.
He was like,
the
I think Joe
president of the
Biden's
United
smarter than
States.
her.
He
She
didn't
was
want to leave.
nowhere
They said, we
these
can do
4
it the
years.
nice
Nowhere.
way, or
Nowhere
we
to
can
be
do it the
found.
hard
100%.
way.
He's smarter than her.
They just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they did with this guy,
So,
and I'm no
yeah.
fan of his, and he was a horrible president, the worst president in history. And one of the reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it.
Well,
and we wouldn't have had Afghanistan. But we think of it. You take a few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have inflation was caused by oil.
On some real shit.
Yeah, no. You're
That's a
I think you're making
fact.
some point here, which is that when other countries can, that are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do, and do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would they rightfully be. I mean, you know, look at that the footage of the assassination. They're like, okay, you know, President Trump is like, don't mess with me. I mean, that's like, whereas I think people are not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think about it in the context.
Bro, he's a joke. He's a joke. He's a dumb fuck. Are they kidding me, bro? Who's
the
gonna?
American president is someone
intimidated by Biden,
like,
you're a bitch.
you know, evil dictators are scared of. That makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, you know, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably
just try the wish.
You know, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too. They actually, when they make up stories, you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. You know, I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world going all over Europe.
Let's finish this round and use it.
Biden came, and then they say, I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that to fund, and this pathetic president gets in there. And the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline.
Fucking piece of shit.
That would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers. Shuts it down. That was, a massive
This guy almost went out.
That Obama refused to allow. Yeah. I allowed it in my first week because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way, underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire or a train that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline. Yeah. He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly, but I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing to listeners the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security. Because there's some real tough characters out there.
Of course it matters.
They don't think the American president is tough. They will do what they want to do.
I know every one of them.
And that puts the whole world in danger.
Elon, I know every one of them.
Bro, we've been getting bent over for the last 4 years.
I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say,
"Oh, nobody respects Biden."
I'm not saying
I'm done.
They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. And they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do.
There's powers at play we can't even understand,
though. Their country.
Doesn't even stop
people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden,
a Kamala, is he this dead ass?
They can't believe this happened.
Fuck Jonah.
All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel.
Jonah.
They're all waiting.
This motherfucker put the gates on.
Iran would not be attacking. Believe me. You know, when I was there, and I say it with respect, because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because they told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pay. They didn't buy oil. Other countries likewise. Sure. You want to buy, you're not doing business.
Bro, that's the thing. When you set boundaries with people,
they had no money
they
for Hamas.
Fucking obey those boundaries or there will be consequences. It's why boundaries exist. It's why they get respected.
Amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil. But they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked.
Might need that.
Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do
Bro,
it.
a big
it's
part
gonna
of
be a
being
bad
respected is
day.
being
You
feared.
cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, "No way." And I said, "Way." And you know, it's the last time we ever had the conversation.
Way.
He would never have done.
No
I got
way.
along well with him. I hope to
Way.
get along well with him again. You know, getting along well with them is a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong Un when I met with President Obama just
Why would
before.
it be a
You
bad
know,
thing?
it's sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, "What's the biggest problem?" He said, "North Korea." I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, you know, all the different things.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I got a
Rocket
call
Man.
from.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they
Those
were.
like,
They were
Button
epic.
Man.
Oh,
He said
What
that
the
he
fuck
has
happened
a red
there?
button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my
Yeah.
red button is much bigger and my red button works.
Look at this.
And then I called him Little Rocket Man of Little Rocket.
My red button works.
All of a sudden I got a call from him.
Anyway.
And they said they
We're
wanted
gonna
me-
shoot
they wanted me,
fireworks?
and we
He's
met.
like, I have
As
nuke.
you
He's
remember,
like,
we
I
met
have
in
bigger
Singapore.
nuke.
We met also in Vietnam.
My
And,
nuke would.
I got along with
My
him great.
nuke
We were in
is
no
bigger
danger.
than yours.
But President Obama,
because
thought
they
we were
respond-
going to end up in a war. A nuclear
Oh, that
war.
sound like you
And-
ripped
and
some
let me tell you,
fucking
he's got a lot
ass.
of nuclear
Dude.
stuff too.
Exactly.
He's got plenty of nuclear. He can do plenty of
It's-
damage. So
You got plenty of nuclear.
people like Kim Jong Un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
well,
and
he,
and
he and I got.
if
He
you
and I had a
project
good
strength,
relationship.
they, you're
Remember, I
Yeah,
remember
100%,
I met
bro.
him
That's
and-
why
and
they
we
run
walked
shit the
onto
way
his
they
land.
do,
Nobody ever
with just
walked
brute
onto his land
force.
before. I walked on. I wouldn't say
Because that's what they
bring up
respect.
Secret Service again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they were thrilled.
Hit
when I
Dr.
did that. I
Montes.
walked onto his land, and
Doctor,
it was an amazing period. But we were
Doctor's
not in
ovary.
danger with him because of me. You know, I always
Yeah.
say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are and controlling of the people.
Facts.
I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran and
Oh, they're
North Korea.
BFFs.
That's, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day.
Bro,
axis
when
of
you're a
evil.
businessman like
These
this, you understand
powerful
politics
countries,
very well
very heavy
because
nuclear,
you've had to
which is the
implement
biggest
it
threat.
in
The
business
biggest threat
countless
is not
times.
global warming.
You know how
where the ocean's
relationships
gonna rise
work,
one
how
eighth of
favors
an
get
inch over the next
exchanged.
400 years.
You can see the playing
and you'll have
field.
more oceanfront property.
These fucking morons
The
don't know
biggest
their hand
threat
from their
is not
ass.
that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming.
It's all by design,
Because we have
Habibi.
5
course
countries
it
now
is.
that have significant nuclear power.
Of
Let's
course
not
it
get
is,
into the
bro.
We have to
nitty-gritty.
not
100%.
allow anything to
Not gonna
happen
leave
with
shit to
stupid
chance.
people like Biden. Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were
There's nothing left.
so stupid that war had zero chance of happening if I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disastrous.
Sure.
Hey, look, just in the 2 armies, you lost 500,000 people. And Ukraine's having a hard time.
Crazy.
Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story, but if you think about it, Russia's gone, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna cut this.
All right.
And
so far, they're spitting fucking facts, bro. Honestly, he's keeping it a buck, and I respect that shit. I mean, he's just calling it like it is. He's not really hyping himself up or anything like that. It's just the bottom line.
Musk didn't say shit.
Bro, Musk is just agreeing to everything Trump is saying.
Yeah, because
what I hope to see from Musk in part 2 is just some better questions that are tailored to get more specific answers out of him. Things that, I guess, because he's so accomplished and smart, things that other people wouldn't be able to get out of him.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Until tomorrow, ladies and
Good
gents.
night, motherfuckers.
All right.
Cocksuckers, good night.
Take it easy.